You ever pull into your own driveway, exhausted from a 12-hour shift, only to find your access locked, your garage packed with trucks you don't own, and a neighbor with a clipboard acting like she's the queen of the block? Yeah, welcome to my Tuesday. Sun dropping behind the pines, engines idling, the heavy stink of diesel rolling out from my own garage, and Delilah Thornberry standing there with a smile that said, "Bless your heart," but her eyes said, "I own you." I slammed on the brakes, so hard the seatbelt dug into my chest. My garage door only groaned up halfway, stubborn as ever. That's when I saw the trucks, two HOA-labeled monsters wedged in, blocking my only path to my tool bench, oil stains smearing my clean concrete. I just stood there, jaw tight, feeling every pair of eyes on the block peeking through blinds, nobody daring to step off their porch. It felt like the board had replaced the law with permission. My permission, apparently, didn't count. Delilah stepped under the half-raised door like she'd been rehearsing her entrance all week. Hair and nails perfect, clipboard tucked under her arm like a sheriff's badge. "Ezra, welcome home," she called, like I should be grateful for the hospitality. "Why are your vehicles in my garage?" I asked, trying to keep my voice level. She didn't bother glancing at the trucks. "Emergency protocol," she said, tapping her clipboard with a perfect nail. "The community's impacted by road work. Temporary staging required." "In my garage? Without my permission?" My chest got tight. She smiled, didn't budge. "HOA authority ensures access remains functional." "My garage isn't community access." I shot back, but she was already flipping a page, showing off a notice, bold letters, crisp letterhead, penalties lined up neat as soldiers. Notice of violation, obstruction, non-compliance. I could hardly believe it. "So you're giving me a violation," I said, "while your trucks are blocking my only access?" She nodded, eyes sparkling like she was enjoying the show. "Correct. The master keys are for the good of the community. My aunt owned this place for decades. Nobody told me the HOA got to just walk in." "New homeowners struggle with covenants," she said, still smiling. "I'm not struggling," I answered. "I'm asking why you're trespassing." Her smile flickered. Porch lights flicked on up and down the block, my audience. Delilah straightened, lifted her chin. "Trucks will be removed when the emergency period ends." "There's no emergency. The crews are 2 streets over. You're using my garage as a storage unit." She pointed down the street, voice ice cold. "Construction disruptions require flexibility. Flexibility means asking, not breaking in." Her eyes narrowed. "You're being difficult." I held up the violation notice. "This is your idea of cooperation? Block my access, then fine me for it?" She cocked her head, sweet as sugar. "If you comply, the fee can be reduced." "So it's a cash grab." "That's an accusation. That's an observation." Her smile grew. "You can always appeal through proper channels." I looked at my driveway. I'm standing in the only proper channel there is. She took a slow step to the wall switch, like she might push my buttons just because she could. "Do not interfere with emergency operations." "I'm not interfering. I'm ending trespass." Her voice sharpened. "If you obstruct HOA equipment, you'll face enforcement." I pulled my phone out. She had the screen. "Calling the police?" "I'm calling someone who actually has authority." She almost looked pleased. "Oh, Ezra, this'll look bad for you." I dialed anyway. Years at a tool bench teach you not to let panic get in the way. "Hi, non-emergency?" "Someone broke into my garage, parked vehicles inside. My access is blocked." Delilah's smile froze, then snapped back on. "Make sure you mention you're holding community property hostage." I hung up. She raised her clipboard like a gavel. "For the record, you are refusing to cooperate. I'm refusing to surrender my property." She leaned close, voice low and smug. "You think you can win against paperwork? I don't need to win. I just need the law to work." She demanded, "Unlock the garage." I didn't touch her trucks. I just walked over and locked the keypad. Her eyes went wide. "What did you do?" "Secure my garage," I said. "You can't keep vehicles where you're not legally allowed." "That's unlawful detention," she snapped. They're not detained. They're trespassing. A whisper carried across the street. He locked them in. Delilah's cheeks flushed. Then she put on that official smile again. I will be reporting this as hostile behavior. Hostile for locking my own garage. You chose conflict. I slipped the notice in my pocket like a trophy. Red and blue lights washed over the driveway. Tow truck growling at the curb. Delilah stood at attention, clipboard hugged to her chest like armor. The officer stepped out, gray at the temples. Looked like someone who'd seen real emergencies. Evening, sir. Evening. Thanks for coming. Delilah jumped in. This man's detained community vehicles. Emergency operations. The officer eyed the trucks, my garage, her. Emergency operations for what? She gestured. Infrastructure disruption. He raised an eyebrow. Ma'am, the crew wrapped hours ago. Her smile faltered. Residual impact. He turned to me. Your property? My garage, only access. Delilah cut in. HOA coordinates access during emergencies. He held up a hand. Do you have documentation to enter private garages? She hesitated too long. The covenants, I didn't ask about covenants. I asked if you have written authorization to seize this homeowner's garage. The word seize landed hard. Delilah insisted. The HOA governs common access routes. This driveway isn't common, the officer replied. The pressure in my chest finally eased. You called because vehicles were placed here without your consent? Yes. And you locked your garage? Yes. Delilah scoffed. He's holding community property hostage. They're on private property. That's a technicality. No, ma'am. That's the law. He walked a slow circle, then nodded at the tow operator. Remove them. Delilah sputtered. You can't authorize that. I can remove trespassing vehicles. The tow truck whined to life. Metal groaning, trucks dragged out inch by inch, leaving scars on my concrete. A neighbor whistled low. My garage looked bigger, brighter, open. The officer nodded. Your access is clear. Thank you. Delilah, red-faced, spat. This isn't over. The officer said, if you have legal standing, pursue it through proper channels. He turned to me. If there's further trouble, document everything. I will. The street fell quiet as the trucks and lights faded. Delilah stalked up to me, voice low. Enjoy the moment. Paperwork will lock you out. She vanished down the block, heels clicking like a countdown. Inside, the house was silent. I dug through my aunt's old boxes, found a brittle deed from 1962. Corner lot, surveyor's seal, strip of land drawn just so. My access. My garage. My property. I traced the line with my finger, barely breathing. Next morning, at the diner, I laid the deed out between my coffee and cold eggs. The surveyor, an old-timer with skin like leather, measured the driveway, checked the numbers, and said, this strip is yours. Always has been. By afternoon, the attorney confirmed it. Original record trumps all. No vote, no bylaw, no clipboard overrides this. When Delilah threatened me with paperwork, she had it backwards. The paper protected me. That evening, I called Channel 7. This is Ezra Caldwell. My HOA's been blocking access they don't own. The reporter was on it. The emergency HOA meeting felt like a showdown. Folding chairs scraping, cameras humming, Delilah's smile glued in place. We're here to address a boundary issue, the president started. I raised my hand. It was never a misunderstanding. You tried to seize my access without checking the record. The surveyor rolled out the old map. The attorney confirmed the deed. Delilah sputtered. Our maps show otherwise. Your maps are wrong. The surveyor said, gentle but firm. They always were. The crowd murmured. They find us for stuff on land they didn't own. I spelled it out, looking Delilah in the eye. You blocked my garage, parked trucks, issued violations without reading the one record that mattered. The Channel 7 reporter pressed her. Did you review the original deed? Delilah dodged. The truth was out for everyone to see. The president squirmed. Delilah tried to recover, but it was done. Next morning, county officials taped off the HOA parking lot. official seals fluttering, the same officer from before nodding at me. Your garage access remains yours. No easement. Any prior work here is now under review. Delilah bristled. This is harassment. No, ma'am. This is oversight. She sputtered. You locked community equipment. I locked my garage. The lock was lawful, both times. The record was the second lock, one they couldn't touch. By late afternoon, the driveway finally felt like mine again. No trucks, no tape, just the smooth slope of concrete and the open path. My neighbors drifted over, arms full of food and charcoal. Mrs. Patterson, Rodriguez, the Johnsons, faces from the meeting, all gathering like it was normal to celebrate driveway. Rodriguez nodded. They're replacing the board. Emergency vote. Sarah, from the center, said they called it restructuring. Mrs. Patterson snorted. It's a panic move. We set up a barbecue in the driveway, where violation notices used to sit. For the first time, people laughed about the HOA. Real laughter, not the nervous kind. The new board chair, a young guy with khakis and a folder, showed up. Full review of policies. No more master keys. Mrs. Patterson pressed. Guaranteeing? He smiled, guaranteeing. Delilah resigned. Ran, really. That night, string lights hung across the driveway. Music drifted. Kids chalked hopscotch squares over old scars. The reporter found me by the garage. What do you want people to take from this? I thought about all the threats, the paperwork, Delilah's smug smile. That records matter. And so does standing up when someone says they don't. She smiled. That'll make a good line. Use your own, I said. As the last neighbor left, I stood under the lights, driveway, quiet, garage locked because I wanted it that way. They tried to seize my access, but one old record kept it locked to me. Justice didn't shout. It just stood steady, visible to everyone, working when it needed to. And finally, someone fought back. So let me ask you, where's the line between shared space and what's truly yours? If you've had to fight for your rights, for your home, tell your story below. Does justice depend on paperwork? Or on someone finally standing up and saying enough? Drop your thoughts. Let's see where we all stand.